This simulation is crazy because I really remember this book reflecting a guy's experience going through high school, but damn. Hey, what's up guys, it's Steph, and yeah, I think I was so focused on comparison the first few times that I read this book that there were just so many things I overlooked, and I'm really noticing them now as I go through it without that mindset of I'm going to compare it to the musical in some way. There's a lot to talk about, as you may be able to tell. My optic nerve blocking was turned off during this review read, however. And as you can tell, there's about 50-something tabs in this book about what to talk about. So this should be fun. Let me also say this is my second time filming this review because the first time I felt like it could just be done better and the footage was very long, and I just feel like I could do better with the review. For something I love so much, in its many forms, I could do better for this book. So these tabs, as many as there was a system to what I did with them. There are blue tabs, which are for Jeremy and his thoughts and actions. There are green tabs for the squip bits, what I consider them, where the squip is either mentioned, first introduced, and where the squip is talking and saying things. Yellow, I believe, were for notable quotes. Pink were definite highlights. And then orange, I think, were book-only kind of things, kind of quotes and situations. So that led to almost all my tabs from a brand new thing of tabs being used on this book. That's fun. Even with all that, though, there are going to be things that I don't talk about in this book review, like Chocolate Shakespeare. If you don't know what that is, I recommend checking out the book, if you still want to after I go over the review. So Be More Chill is a book that was released in 2004, written by Ned Vizzini. It's a relatively short read with very short chapters, and only about 200-something pages. Let me just skip through, because I wrote it down, but I don't want to look unprofessional. And it's about 287 pages. That's it, that's the whole book, and it's really quick to get through. I read this the first time I read it. It was maybe a couple hours sitting, and then kind of more analytical, going through a few more hours, and even this last read through, I read it in a day. So every time I read it, it's a really quick read to get through. The chapters are short, the way the words are spaced and everything, it's quick to get through. It's easy to understand, it's easy to keep going through. It is also split into 3 sections. We have pre-squip, squip, and post-squip. Now, to summarize this book for those of you who may not know, let's do that. Our main character, Jeremy, here, is really kind of a dork. He's not cool, he's not popular, he's just kind of there in high school. And he feels he needs to be cool in order to get the girl of his affections, Christine Canicula, or I believe her name is pronounced differently based off the book spelling, but I'm going to call her Canicula and just kind of go with Christine. Anyway, to get Christine, Jeremy feels like he has to be cool, and right now he's very far from cool. So how does he get cool? He gets a super quantum unit intel processing unit, of course, or, as it's referred to in the book, a squip. Now this is a gray oblong pill quantum nanotechnology CPU that goes into your brain and it helps you be cool, or it helps you with whatever task you you swallow it for because you drink it. Well, you don't drink it, you take it, you drink it with Mountain Dew to activate it, and then it'll help you with either the SATs, the being cool, whatever you require it to do. It helps you get control of your life, but as Jeremy soon discovers, there's a dark side to having so much control over what's going on. Now let's just talk about this book overall and its writing style. It felt very much like a dude's book written by a dude. That may not sound the most articulate or like most professional sounding, but that's really what it is. At least that's what it feels like. From the 2 Ned Vizzini books that I have read, it really feels like he writes for a male audience and for that male perspective, which is really interesting because a lot in young adult we see female perspective, and when we do see male perspective, they don't really go into the details that Ned goes into, like jerking off and kind of this male self-discovery and that kind of fun stuff. Granted, he doesn't go into that much detail, but it is something that happens in the book. Along with that, it's very much a product of his time, with certain jokes and language written throughout. Other than that, it's kind of a mess story. And I know, this comes from someone who always sings praises of this book, and talks about how much I love this book and the musical inspired. And let me explain myself. I really love this book from a dissecting standpoint. It's just so interesting to me to look at the differences between the different adaptations and the way it's been interpreted into this thing that's about to go onto Broadway. In case you haven't heard, My Baby Be More Chill is moving from off-Broadway onto Broadway. And I feel like a mom sending my kid to college. I'm so proud. I'm going to cry again. And while I do love it from a dissecting standpoint, the book has kind of a flat story. There aren't really that big of stakes, and we don't have as much as in the musical. Which is why I'm so thankful to Joe Iconis for his reimagining of this story. Because it's just so cool and so fun. And like I said, to look back and forth in the comparisons, it's extremely fun for me. Let's talk about some of those characters now. Rich is a definite player. His Halloween costume, bless it all, I wish it was in the musical. Like, if that's going to be one of the changes when they move on to Broadway, Mr. Iconis, please. Give Rich the pot leaf Halloween costume. Oh my god, when he burns down the house and he's dressed as a pot leaf. That would be so funny! But tragic, but funny! Okay, moving on now. Oh my god, that wasn't in the original bit I filmed for this review, but I'm totally keeping that in here. Jeremy really has some self-esteem issues. Relatable. He gets a squip in order to talk and get with Christine, but really he's had the conversations without the squip, and even when he has a squip turned off, he has these actual really good conversations with Christine, and he's actually able to talk with her and kind of get interest, kind of get an interest from her. It kind of feels like that a little bit. But we'll get to Christine in a minute. But honestly, he's able to do these things without the squip. And when the squip comes in, there are mixed results. Jeremy also keeps track of his humiliations. At times people laugh at him, snicker at him, whatever. He keeps track of them on what he calls a humiliation sheet, which has tabs under the different categories of humiliation. It's not very cool, dude. I see why you get the squip. The big point of him getting the squip is to get with Christine, because being cool in Jeremy's mind is how he gets Christine. The squip is very much a chaotic neutral in this book. His goal is to help Jeremy, but technology is only so helpful. Certain human variables can make things very difficult. It's almost like a genie, except Jeremy has to spend his own money, and really it's just super scientific advice he's being given. Just watch yourself if you swallow Model 2.5, and be wary of Keanu Reeves' voice. Christine, the main love interest, isn't that good of a character. I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of hated her book character. I don't want to compare the two in this review. I want to strictly talk about the book. Even though I haven't, I've talked about the musical already too. But musical Christine is 10 steps up from book Christine. Musical Christine is a Priscilla Bean. Book Christine is... She has a system with guys and dating that's just kinda... And she doesn't really add anything to the story except the fact that she is Jeremy's love interest and kind of the driving point for the whole story. That's kind of all she adds. Every time I read this book, I have different overall feelings, but my feelings for Christine never change. I never like her character much at all. Michael Mello is a very different character. He's a Weezer-loving white boy with an afro. It's very different from the Michael Mell we know and love who sings Michael in the bathroom. This Michael Mell had a very different experience in the bathroom, let me tell you. It wasn't anxiety-ridden. Not at all. I feel like both Michaels had a chill vibe, but we have Musical Michael again. I'm sorry for comparing. Musical Michael is more of a nerdy kind of go-getter vibe, and Book Michael is definitely a chill vibe. He's very just kind of laid back, likes to listen to music, stay at his house, listen to music, all that kind of stuff. Book Michael is that kind of chilly. He likes boobs on TV and sitting back listening to Weezer. That's Book Michael for you. I know there are some characters that I didn't compare and didn't really talk about, but I think I'm going to end this review because, like I said, I don't want it to be like a full comparison to Book and Musical. I just want to talk about some of the main characters, some of the main plots, which, like I said, it wasn't much. And some of these quotes are just things I found personally funny, or I found personally that's kind of weird, I'm going to highlight that. There's a lot I still didn't talk about in this book, like the fact that Jeremy kind of has a thing for tails. Which makes me wonder, in the musical, when Brooke is a slutty dog, is that supposed to be a reference to the fact that Book Michael likes tails? Mr. Iconis, please let us know. Or someone tell me if that's been confirmed or not, because I'm very curious. Another thing I didn't talk about, the Beanie Baby scene. My absolute favorite thing about this book. If you have not read this book yet, please do. And when you get to the Beanie Baby scene, tweet me at Steph Writes OK and tell me your thoughts, because the Beanie Baby scene, if you've been around my channel for a bit, I recreated that last year for the Booktubeathon. There was this book challenge thing, if you don't know. And I recreated the Beanie Baby scene. It's cringy to look back on, but I had so much fun doing it. And gosh, just everything about like what this book has spawned, the dissection of this book, and just comparing and contrasting and reading it all these different times, each time from getting a different kind of vibe from it, different mindset from it. It's so interesting. That's why it's one of my favorites, even if it doesn't have the best story. It's one of my favorite books. Ned Vizzini has definitely secured himself a place as one of my favorite authors. Between this book and his Kind of Funny Story, it makes me want to pick up all the books that he put out before his passing. And it really sucks that he's no longer here and we can't talk to him and ask him questions about his works, or what he would feel about the Be More Chill musical and what his book inspired, the success that he inspired. It really makes me sad, but it also makes me really happy that he lives on through this work and his other works. And this one especially is bringing, I know it brought me to some of his other works. I didn't realize It's Kind of a Funny Story was written by him. I knew it existed because of the movie, but I never knew it was a book. I never knew it was written by him. He has a few other books that sound really interesting, and from his writing style and the way he writes, I definitely want to check them out and see where he's coming from with these books. It's just a really cool thing that this musical brought me to the book and brought me to this author and just opened me up to a whole new set of stories to read. And I'm really excited about that, and that's all I've got for you guys today. I feel like this book review came out better than my first. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it, because I really enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed reading this book. I enjoyed talking about this book and the musical, as you guys may know, because I'm kind of trash for it. That's all I've got for you guys today. I really hope you have a lovely day/night. And if you want to subscribe, my face will be right here, as well as a button down there. You can hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. If you want to see some of my other Be More Chill videos, I'll leave a playlist for you right here. If you want to see my last book review, I'll leave It's Kind of Funny Story by Ned Vizzini for you right here. And I definitely recommend it. For a book about depression, it really is kind of a funny story. That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have a lovely day/night, and I'll see you later.